Boom, we're here. I sound sad.
Not at all.
No, I don't sound sad.
Don't judge yourself.
It's okay. I'm not. I just, the podcast I did prior to this, I went all the way.
Good. Let it all out.
Yeah, and this podcast, we're doing something different. People talk about authenticity, and no one can say I'm not authentic. No, and we got to stick with that. But anyway, if you are listening, rate the podcast. Of course, if you're listening as well, watch the podcast. We have a full YouTube channel, Big Moo TV. What else? We want to connect with you. So today we have a good friend of mine, and it's kind of perfectly fitting. We've been trying to do this for weeks. We have Xtina Jogoleff.
Perfect.
Did I say it right?
You said it perfect.
I've been fucking up everybody's name. That's like my thing, is I fuck up people's names. Matt's like, it sounds so unprofessional, and I just
fuck professionalism. You get to create your own professionalism.
Yeah, I can't help it. But so let's talk about what's been going on. What's been going on in the inner healing work? What's been going on?
I mean, the world is hurting right now, and what I like to tell people is like, the world has always been hurting. I think now we're just acknowledging it. We're more aware of the hurt that we're all feeling individually, collectively, like systemically, right? In all of the ways. And our wounds are fully exposed. And so in the inner healing world, what I help people do is understand where their pains come from and heal the root of the pain so that they don't keep repeating patterns.
Practically, how do you heal the root?
Practically, basically, I tell my clients who work with me one-on-one that they have to reach out to me when they're in pain. So when you're going through shit, you got to reach out to me then, because if you reach out to me, if you wait for your session, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I had an episode on Tuesday, but I'm better now. And I'm like, that's great. We want to undo the way that you react and become aware of what you're feeling, what you actually want to do, and then create a different type of response, right? So it's so there's different ways that we do that. One, they got to reach out to me when they're in some shit, and so that takes a level of trust. It also takes, like, on me, it's being accessible to my clients around the clock, especially when, just depending on whatever they're in, and then those that are open to it, because I am trained in like hypnosis and Reiki. We'll do like past life regressions and guided meditations that take them back to the very first time that they experienced whatever it is they want to release, whether that's resentment, regret, and like whatever, anger, animosity, hate. And so what I'll do in those moments, is make sure that they're in a meditative state. And then we will travel back to the first time that they felt some type of pain. So we go directly to the pain, and they see everyone that was involved. They see the younger version of themselves. And then we go through the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono, which is a forgiveness exercise. Are you familiar with this one?
Tell people.
So what it is we basically commune with all who were there when the pain first got rooted. And so we thank that pain. We thank the younger version. We thank that all that were involved. We forgive them. We also apologize. And then we say, I love you. And so that's the quickest way, but we walk through a variety of ways to get them to those 4 different points. And then we ask if there's any messages from the younger version of themselves. We ask if there's any messages from, those who had hurt them. And if they want to do anything. And it's really, it's extremely powerful. It's beautiful. And it's a way for most people, almost everyone that I've done this with, didn't realize where their pain was from. Like, they're like, I had no idea that we were going to go back to that moment. And then afterwards, they're like, they feel so blissful and beautiful. So they didn't think that they could face maybe an abuser or someone who hurt them and feel free and liberated and blissful. Because typically when we think about our pain, we think of, the pain, the weight of the pain, right, that we carry. And so, yeah, that's one way that we do it.
Got you. Got you. So it's an interesting week for us to do this because I'm going through a divorce. And you have gone through separation, as we've touched on. You've gone through a number of separations. One big one. This is my big one. You did your big one.
I did my big one
a couple years back.
6 years ago.
Yeah. So when you were doing your big one, I was getting into my big one.
Yeah.
So now this is 6 years later. I'm going through my big one, and a lot of things are coming up. But one thing I want to this next couple weeks is themed on masculinity. And I want to speak to you from a female perspective, from a healer and a healed and healing woman. What your ideal form of masculinity is, what you believe toxic masculinity is, and how you perceive my masculinity.
Oh, I love this. I love this for so many reasons. Because you never want to, what I love about you is you never want to talk general, right? You're I don't need the definition of toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity. You're bitch, what the fuck do you need and want, right? Yeah. And I love that because it helps people understand that we have to tune into ourselves, because the masculinity that I need to show up in my life is not the same masculinity that maybe one of my homies or homegirls needs, right? And so for me, this is great. So toxic masculinity to me is what I would consider someone who is still living from their childhood wounds, right? And so they are seeking approval, they're seeking dominance, they're seeking validation, which is similar to approval. And they do it in a variety of different ways. And it's not necessarily intentional. I think a lot of times, last time we spoke, we talked about narcissism. And a lot of times people pin the narcissist as if they're intentional about what they're doing. And so toxic masculinity, the men that I've had in my life and still have in my life, right? My father would be one of those. And he's an incredible man and he's undoing things, but there's still a lot of toxins there. There's still a lot of toxicity. The shit's deep, right? And they're not aware of what they're doing. It's not they wake up and they're I'm going to be a toxic fucker today.
Yeah.
No. They wake up and they're doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
The best that they can. And they're giving the love that they know.
Yeah.
Right? And so it can really hurt them in a different way. And I'm not trying to oh my God, poor toxic men. It hurts toxic men when they have, we're talking about heterosexual relationship here, women who stand in their power and then say, this is not working. This is unhealthy for me. And then they can get really hurt. And then sometimes even more wounded, instead of leaning into learning through their pain. So for me, how toxic masculinity has shown up in my life has been men manipulating me, controlling me, not wanting me to be me. I'm a free fucking spirit, and I currently don't have a bra on right now. I like to be naked. I cuss. I dance. I'm very comfortable. I grew up with boys. I grew up hanging out in in my 20s, drinking and hanging out in a garage, working on my motorcycle. So I'm comfortable in myself. And men who have come into my life, they are drawn to that and they love that and they like that, but they're also have been threatened by that. And so they want to pull me out of the garage. They want to make me prissy and sweet and all of those things. And I'm
wouldn't want that for you. That's not what's attractive about you.
But so they'll like the fact that I'm strong, powerful, whatever, right? Same with everyone's I love that you're hood, whatever that even means. From the hood, comfortable in those spaces. I'm authentic as fuck. But then if I get hood on you, they don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, honey.
You don't get to pick and choose.
You don't get to pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
So healthy masculinity, from my life,
From your life.
right now, is not what it would have been in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
And so
How old are you?
I will be 35 on Sunday.
There you go.
So
I love my 30s.
I fucking love it.
The 20s are such a shit show. Train wreck.
Bro.
So happy it's over.
20s, fucking like alcohol and reckless sex everywhere.
Yeah.
That's how I had my child.
Exactly. So I had mine.
So
Yeah. I'm not having any more either.
fucking high five, one and done.
Fucking done.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy when I say that. And I'm
Nah,
like,
fam.
no, like he is a king.
Yeah.
And I take that serious, right? Like raising the next generation. I am raising the future.
Yeah.
And if I know I'm a little off topic, but I'll go back to your masculinity question. But this is so related because for me, it's about showing my son what healthy masculinity is from the fucking beginning.
Yeah.
And what that means is I constantly have to undo my own self, my own wounds around masculinity, and lead, right? As a queen, lead as his mother, but also learn from him so that he can lead because he's meant to lead. And I can't let his greatness be dimmed in any way because I want to discipline or correct him. And allowing my son to have his own voice, especially because he's half Black, right? Like I really need him to know how to speak the fuck up for himself and be comfortable wherever he is because I don't want anyone to make him feel like he can't be him.
Yeah.
And
My son's half Black too.
And so like
They're gonna have their own group of problems.
All
And
kinds.
That's one of my fears in the separation is that he's gonna grow up with so many white people and have an existential crisis.
It's a real fear.
By the time he's 2, by the time not 2, by the time he's in 6 in second grade, and he's gonna be like, why does everybody not look like me? Why is my hair different from everybody else's? And his Black dad's 170 miles away. His only Black face he knows.
Oh, that's so fucking tough, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a fake fear of my son's father. The reality is I have more Black people in my son's life than he does. Yeah. So there's a few reasons why. One, I grew up in a Black and brown neighborhood. So that's what I'm around.
Yeah.
That's who my family is. But I'm also extremely intentional about ensuring my son is around the Black community and in particular Black excellence. I seek it out. And then just diversity in general. But for me is all right, I am a white-skinned Chicana, right? And this is what my son sees outwardly. He's always going to see me. And I have a funny story about that. Actually, I stayed home the first 3 years. And when he was a year and a half, I ran a Spartan race. And it was the first time he was ever going to be away from me for this Spartan race. And the second time, because I did one when he was 9 months old. So I go run the race. It ends up taking way longer than expected. He's staying with one of my homegirls on the, out in the fucking mud. And he starts running up to all these white ladies, running, just seeing white legs and running up and looking up and be like, nope, that's not my mom. Running up. Oh, that's not my mom. And so it was hilarious. Yeah. But to me, it was also okay, that's what my son is comfortable with. And I have to make sure that that's not all he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
Anywho's, back to healthy masculinity. It's different in my 20s than it is in my 30s. And I think mid 30s in particular versus even my early 30s, because after this last separation, I really learned, I healed a lot of shit that I didn't realize I hadn't dealt with, around codependency. And I'm such a giver. And I found that I was building this person's just giving to this person's purpose and brand more than I was giving to myself. And I had to check myself on that. And so for healthy masculinity for me is like someone who sees how hard I work and how much I give and who I give to, that they want to make my life better.
Okay, let me turn this question over. So that's how healthy masculinity interfaces with you. Mm-hmm. But observing healthy masculinity, what do you see in a healthy masculine man?
Someone who is vulnerable, who's honest with themselves, who leans into difficult conversations without judgment. Healthy masculinity allows for space and supports. Yeah. Right. So I also think when I think of masculinity and femininity, it's not just like male, female bodies, right? And it's not just a gender performance either, right? Like, oh, who's the masculine and who's the feminine? I do think because I do inner healing and spiritual work, right? I believe in the divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? And that we carry, each of us carry these within ourselves, right? The divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? Like it's not that I'm just aligned with the divine feminine. And for most of my life, I lived in a hyper masculine state. Mm-hmm. So let me explain what that means a little bit. So our divine masculine is our ability to create, to produce, to put in work, to make shit happen, right? So when I think of a healthy masculinity, I think of someone who can make shit happen. When I think of the divine feminine, it's our ability to dance with our masculine energies, to receive, to align, to put out the intention, but not have to necessarily do the work to create that intention. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so they are at play with one another. And so when I think of a relationship between a man and a woman or masculine and feminine energies, it's that play. So we have that within ourselves, but then in a relationship, we need to have that as well. And that's what makes relating so difficult because we have this relationship with ourselves. We have to honor that relationship within our partner, having their own relationship with themselves, right?
Someone put it to me this way: 1 + 1 = 3.
Exactly.
Individual plus individual equals relationship.
And then that's exactly what I was going to say. Is like, you've got all of this and you're constantly changing and you're embracing mind, body, spirit, soul. And that's all fucking changing all the goddamn time, as is for me. And then in building a friendship or an intimate partner relationship, then now that's all flowing together. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't know if that fully answered what I
fully answers it
for like healthy masculinity.
Yeah, that answers it. What do you perceive of my masculinity?
Of your masculinity.
Yeah.
I think you're very grounded. You're very honest. You respect boundaries really well. And you're a creator. And to me, that is what it is, like healthy masculinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you lean into growth even when it's difficult.
Yeah.
You're authentic as fuck. And I think that's a masculine trait.
That's no one could say that I'm not. There's no one who could say that this motherfucker's faking the funk.
No
one can say
that. And I think that to me, that's a healthy, super fucking healthy masculinity, but also like divinity, right? Of like you saying, I know who I am and I'm going to show up as him wherever I go.
You know, and that was an issue in my relationship. And here's how I describe it. And this whole month is going to be towards about masculinity, but, or in some variety. I actually have it's going to be dope. But I feel like my relationship was a Rubik's Cube. And one side of the Rubik's Cube didn't even have any fucking colors on it.
I knew you were going to say that before you said that. You know, it's like the vision I got.
And in the relationship that just ended, I was doing this Rubik's Cube and doing this version of myself and saying, here, is this the version of myself that will make you happy? And then I was doing another version of it and saying, is this the one? Is making this amount of money the one? Is spending this amount of time with you the one? And I was emasculating myself, not leading from masculinity, not leading from that divine masculine. I was emasculating myself, begging for approval, begging to be seen and to be acknowledged and to be affirmed. And it, I think a little bit of what I'm feeling so deeply is that almost regret that I brought myself there.
Bro, I fully understand.
Yeah.
And like, that's your gift, right? Is like, you are so authentic everywhere you go. And then the reason why it's not regret, it's like, fuck, I actually see where I wasn't in alignment with my true fucking self. Yeah. And it was in what was supposed to be my most sacred relationship. And then what you're realizing is shit wasn't actually that sacred.
Yeah.
I'm like, hope I didn't like go in too quick there. But that's what it was for me, is like, I dive deep with my fucking clients, like deep. Yeah. And my clients cannot know me more than my man. Yeah. It just fucking can't happen.
Yeah.
So if my man is not willing to dive deep with me, get the fuck on.
I was experiencing the same thing. Like she didn't listen to the podcast, right?
Oh, bro, I'd be so hurt.
Yeah, she didn't.
I would be so hurt.
She didn't listen to the podcast, so she didn't get to hear that insight. And then she doesn't know me in 12-step, which is me being vulnerable in front of hundreds of people. She doesn't know me with my sponsees. She doesn't know me with my friends. She only knows me in the context of her container.
Yeah.
So, and I'm playing a role to fit into her container. And partially it's like she shouldn't be in my AA life because that's my recovery. And my recovery is
yours,
mine. But to not get to know me in the sense of like, this is who I am everywhere, you know, but except here I don't cuss. Here I don't, like, I do cuss, but you know, I'm like, oh, I go to church, and like, I like.
You went to church?
Yeah, I so the spiritual thing, I love talking about God, and I talk about the God too much on the podcast because I'm able to go to church, I'm able to go to mosque, I'm able to go to temple, I meditate 3 times a day, I fucking do this, I burn sage, whatever the fuck spirituality is there to be had, I'm willing to have it because Christ consciousness, samadhi, like enlightenment, all of it is God consciousness, and I'm open to it. So for me, going to church wasn't a stretch, and it's still not. I think I might go to church with my son on Sunday because I want him to grow up with spiritual principles and not spiritual principles taught by religion. I'll tell him that's bullshit. Like, don't listen to that shit. When they talk about sex, when it comes to that time, don't listen to anything that these motherfuckers have to say.
Yep.
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I want my children to grow up. I want my little one to grow up spiritually inclined. I have very little say over what the oldest does. I have very little say. He has a father who wants to be his father, and he has his mother who wants to be his mother. And I was just a placeholder, you know, just a placeholder. So, but all I could focus on is my little one and the spiritual principles that are. I'm so happy he's going to grow up in AA. So happy for that.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
It takes a lot of strength.
I'm so sad.
But like,
I'm so sad.
The last time I saw you, like, I literally had been crying. I cried for like a month.
Yeah.
Like, and not like I was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like, all that I could do was like bare minimum in my business. It was like, let's fucking maintain.
Well, for me, it's, you want to hear something?
Are you doing like super amazing now?
Yeah, I'm doing much better.
Because you cleared out the bullshit. That's what's happening here.
But I'm about to take this shit to the next level. And it's like, okay, I'm not good enough for you. You're about to see. Like what's good.
I mean, that's essentially what happened with me. And it is still happening, right? Is like,
And I don't think she wants to see me fail. She definitely doesn't want to see me fail. But, you know, I've been broken up with and lived in a trailer in El Cajon, and I was broke. And then that hurts extra bad because you know her life's going to be better, you know, and your life is where it's at. But now my life is great. And we're leaving the relationship with me at the highest point of my life. At my highest point, making more money than I've ever made, more creative than I've ever been. So
and it's your new normal.
It's my new normal.
This is your new zero.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this is your ground zero.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I think is most empowering and grounding, is like, these are my roots now.
Yeah.
And this is your son's roots.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, these are his roots.
Yeah.
And this is his foundation, and he gets to build more off of this. And like, she's always going to be your son's mom.
Yeah.
Right. And one thing that's like really hard for me in the separation with toxic masculinity, right? Because you're going through a separation now with healthy masculinity.
Well, it's funny because in that relationship, I'm toxically masculine. In that, it brought that out of me to be.
Well, you had to see it.
Yeah,
that's the only way you're going to see that.
That's
shit.
the only way I was going to see it.
It had to fucking come out.
And thinking about masculinity as much as I am now, it's so far. Even hanging, like, being around the women I've been around the past 3 days, there's no, like, my instinct is to not, like, fuck my way through this.
No.
That's not, like, that's the toxic masculine way. It's to, like, fuck everything in sight. And that's not my response. My response is abstinence and going deep spiritually. That's my natural response. So I was only toxically masculine in that relationship. It's interesting because we both weren't like that. Actually, I was toxic and I started to get less toxic, but we were both arrested in development. We were both arrested in the trauma, and we weren't able to break out. So when
it takes a lot to break through trauma when you got it in your relationship.
When it's in the relationship, but you know what? I'm so lucky. I'm like a personal development guy. This is my life's work.
I know.
So I get to immerse myself in this. She does not.
And that makes it really hard in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like that for me, I need someone who's just as committed to undoing the self as I am. Because if I'm constantly doing that, that means this relationship will fucking dwindle quick.
Yeah.
Because I reinvent myself almost on the daily. So like, I want to honor you in doing that. And then that means we have to reinvent this relationship always.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, like, I'm nowhere near opening up to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's about being honest with myself in that. Right.
Yeah,
it's like, because like sometimes people are like, oh, you're just being jaded. No, I'm not being jaded. No. This is me being anchored in who the fuck I am and knowing where I am.
It's wisdom.
Thank you.
It's wisdom.
It's wisdom. Yeah. Like, I've been that girl. And I purposefully say girl and not woman or queen, right? Yeah. I've been that girl who's like, fuck man, I don't want to do that. Yeah. That's a girl move. That's a little kid move.
I don't have that feeling towards her. I don't think she has that feeling towards me. Fuck him, he ain't shit, that. And I don't have that towards her at all.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's always going to be your son's mother. And if she's doing well, your son does well.
Yeah.
And, you know, not that it's your responsibility to ensure that she does well, but like, if she's ever struggling or hurting in any way, it's going to impact your son.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if you really take that serious, that's a part of healthy masculinity too, and showing that to your son. Now, not overextending yourself and doing way too much, because you don't want to pass that on to your son. But, you know, having that check in with yourself, really checking in, seeing how she's doing, being there as a co-parent, as a co. Yeah. Right? We're coexisting together now.
Yeah.
In a new way. And it's a beautiful thing to create. It takes a lot of compassion.
Definitely.
A lot of forgiveness. A lot of really undoing yourself and leaning in from a place of healing and not the wound.
Yeah.
Because probably if you would have stayed in the relationship, like me in my last relationship, we would have just been operating from the wound.
Exactly. And her wounds are like, I caused them. Like, and that's a difficult pill to swallow because she wasn't this way when I met her. She was a happy young girl. And through my mental illness, through my sex addiction, through my toxic masculinity, I turned her into this woman. And that's the sad part is that, but you know what? I and this is not to absolve myself. I was doing the best I can. That was the best. That was the best I knew how to do.
I think on the bigger level, right, of you knowing that you are a spiritual being and so is she. And like your guys' spirits agreed to go through all of that and all of this together. Like, yes, this is your human experience, but the divine in you, the divine at large was like, you guys are going to use each other to find your best self.
Yeah.
And it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to fucking hurt.
How old's your son?
He's going to be 6 on March 1st.
So our kids are going to play.
Yes.
He's going to be here this weekend. We should set up
a play date. Totally. Well, I don't have him this weekend. He's with his dad.
But we'll set up play dates.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he needs little brown boys to hang out with.
Oh, I've got all kinds. You can come over anytime you want.
We'll have we'll do it. Because I want him to be. That's the thing in San Diego. He has that opportunity out there. He doesn't have that opportunity.
Well, and it takes work. Yeah. I think there's so many people who do not understand the amount of work it takes on a parent to raise a conscious child.
Yeah.
Like the labor is in you as a parent building relationships with other conscious parents.
Yeah.
And having these conversations and making time. Like I make fucking time for my son to have his own relationships and not just, oh, those are my mom's friends' kids. And they are like, whatever, it's like, yeah, mommy has her friends and we're all cool with whatever. But whenever I meet someone who's got some dope ass children that my son connects with, I'm like, zing, I'm doing whatever I can.
Maybe my son can learn from yours because my son's wild.
Yeah, but he's a boy. Boys are crazy.
I think he'll calm down out here because he acts differently with me than he does with mom.
Well, of course.
He fucks around with mom.
Yeah, that's what boys do.
Yeah, but with me, he's like, all right.
Because you're the dad.
He's like, I guess this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? He's like, I guess, yeah. Anyway, he's chill with me. So it's my first weekend with him just alone this weekend.
So. Is he 3 or how old is he?
He's about to turn 4.
4, okay.
About to turn 4, So yeah, so I wanted your perspective on masculinity and the next question I had, what is your sex ideal? If you
ideal?
Yeah, if not sex in the physical sense, but opposite sex ideal. What do you want in a partner? And if you had to paint that picture right now, what would you want in a partner?
This is such a dope question because the reason why this is dope is when it's more often than not women who've got this like desire to be in a relationship more than men. And they're like, I just can't manifest my dream partner. I can't manifest my dream partner. And I fucking hate that language. And so what I have them do is write down all the things that they want, not just in a man, but it's like, how do you want to feel? What do you guys want? What do you want to share with this person?
Yeah.
Right. And then go through it and then give yourself that shit. Yeah. Like become who it is that you desire. So, and give yourself what you want from this man.
Yeah.
So that when you're comfortable with that, you know how to receive that because that's a part of being the divine feminine, right? Like a part of being the divine feminine is really receiving and awakening the divine masculine. But then when he comes into your life, you'll fucking recognize it.
Yeah.
And not be wooed and swayed by the fuckery that's all around you. So for me, I've written things out and there's things that matter to me that are, I was like, maybe I should say something else. I think when women and men open up to dating, you need to have bare minimum standards. And it's not problematic to have standards. So there are standards that we need to have. And so I have, because before I didn't have standards. And so I would welcome anything into my life. And my only thing was like, don't hit me and don't cheat on me. because
don't hit me and don't cheat on me.
Because
you're cool.
I've been hit and I've been cheated on, right? So for me, it was like, all right, like a real man. And that's like really operating from the wound, right? And so the last few relationships that I was in, that's really what it was about. It was like, oh, well, like, he's not cheating on me. He's not hitting me. And I'm like, why the fuck is this lame? I'm like, oh, because I don't have dope ass standards. I have fucking lame ass little baby standards.
Yeah.
And so we have to have standards, right? More than don't cheat on me and don't hit me, right? Yeah. And so some of my standards are like, they have to have their own. Like you have to have your own place in San Diego. That's not easy to do. And like, I don't want, you can't have roommates.
Roommate. Is that okay?
That's not okay in my book.
No, it is. It is.
But, you know, don't be living with family. Don't, you know, if you have to be able to hold your own, right? Have your own place, have your own car, because there are people who don't have their own cars and that shit is like crazy. So those are there. You have to be more than financially stable. Like that's what I mean by like have your own.
Yeah.
You know, because I am an entrepreneur, I don't need another entrepreneur, but it would be hard to understand what it is that I do and how I do what I do and what I'm creating, right? Because for me, it's always about creating more freedom for myself. And so if someone doesn't understand that, we're not gonna mesh. It's gonna be hard. Yeah. Like me, I'm not going to defend myself in who I am. Like I need you to accept me and I want to accept you. Yeah. So there's standards, but then I also think we need to know our core values. Like what are our core values and not what someone says their core values are, right? Because I love when people are like family and then they're never spending time with family.
Yeah.
Then family is not your core fucking value.
Yeah.
And we can see and this is what led me to, in the last relationship that I was in, was just listening to and paying attention to the action. Actions will tell me where your values are. Yeah. Actions will tell me what your priority is. Yeah. And I'm not going to judge you based off of that because I actually am so loving and I accept you. I'm going to say, that's awesome. You should do that. I don't want any part of that. So I'm going to take my ass over here. And that can be hard for people. Yeah. Is like, you're letting me know, not by sharing with me or telling me, but your actions have shown what matters most to you. And you know what? That doesn't matter most to me. And in my honoring of you, I want you to do what you love the most. And in my honoring of me, I need to do what matters most to me.
Yeah.
And we can move forward from this place of love and respect. But it's really hard to swallow when you're the other person being told like, hey, I really love you, but that's not for me anymore. Yeah. Like, that's really hard. So there's like core values. And then for me, it was about learning my own value, like really knowing my worth and my value, and not just what I bring to the table, but as cliche as it sounds, it's like I am the fucking table. Yeah. Right? Like I'm not just bringing shit to the table. Like I create tables wherever I go. Yeah. And when I realized that, it helped me filter through, and it still helps me filter through. Like when dudes get at me, fucking Valentine's Day yesterday was a fucking shit show in my DMs.
What are you up to?
Like, I got proposed to twice. I was like, this is hilarious. This is so fucking funny. Yeah. And just like, what men think that they can just randomly show up in, you know, women's DMs and messengers and send these things on this day. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I was having fun in my group text with my brothers. But in knowing my value, when someone comes along my way that maybe piques my interest or we're having a good time, it feels good, I have to check in with myself and be like, does this feel good now? Yeah. Because this feels good now.
Will it feel good later?
Will this feel good later? And not just that, I think you have to get really clear on I had to get really clear. I'm like, let me just own this shit. I had to get really clear on what it is that I'm building for me and my son.
Yeah.
Really fucking clear. Right. And in seeing that, having that clarity, I now check in with myself and say, can this person fit in that version of me? Right? Yeah. Living fully in the present, accepting who I am, but also knowing where I'm going. And in knowing where I'm going, I need someone who is already there to help get me there, or someone who's just as committed to going where I'm going. Because I'm not doing this rags to riches fucking story with someone. I'm never holding someone down again. That shit is lame as fuck. And
that's for your 20s.
Yes.
And if you like, that would have been tight if my partner, my ex, and I would have been able to get through that, because she was with me building everything I'm building now. She was, she was putting it on her credit card and like,
yes, I've been that woman
doing all of it, which it would have been tight to get to where I am now.
But see, we all hold on to that potential or that hope, or that would have been so fucking dope. And then, that's like what I was with the last relationship I was in. And then I had to be like, you know what? Actually, it was my brother. And like, I know it's so hard for brothers I'm real close with my brothers, like my blood brothers. And they were toxic as fuck growing up. We were all toxic. Like I was toxic. Like they'd bring a female around and I was just rude, like mean, ruthless, like evil. Yeah. And they were the same way. Like I'd bring a man around and they'd be like, fuck this fool. Like we're going to make him feel like shit. We all got over that. We're all into personal development. We all own our own businesses. Yeah. So now we fully accept when someone brings someone around. Both my brothers, they're married now. But we then went through this stage of fully accepting when someone comes around. And so now it took a lot for my brother, I think, to speak up and say, without saying, you deserve more.
Yeah.
But basically was like, how you are in this relationship today, how he is today with you, will this lead to your future? Not the potential, not what he could be, not what he's capable of, right? Because we cling on to that. Like we cling on to, that would be such a dope ass story.
Yeah.
And I can see it, I can feel it, and that would be so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But my brother was like, is this motherfucker showing you this today?
Yeah.
What happens today will determine your tomorrow. And so like I had to make a decision. And that was not an easy decision. To break up with someone, for me, my last breakup was breaking up with someone I was fully in love with. Like I wanted to life with this person. I wanted to create. I was fully involved in his life. His family still reaches out to me. People that he works with in the community still lean on me. And because for me, that's the type of bitch I am. Like I'm a down ass female. Like, oh, we're doing this. I'm doing this. Yeah. Like that's me. And in that last relationship, that's exactly why he came into my life, for me to see who I am.
Yeah.
To really see that, right? And so for you, it's like, you're really seeing who you are.
Yeah.
And being like, that toxic shit, that ain't me.
That ain't me.
That's gotta go.
You know what? I'm a good fucking guy, man.
You're a great guy. What are you talking about? Good.
I think I'm a good dude. I think I'm a good dude, man. And in 12 Step, there's this page. It says, pain is a touchstone of spiritual growth. Do you know what touchstone is? It's a touchstone is a stone that they rub gold against it, and depending on the color on the opposing stone, it tests the quality of the gold. So the pain that I'm going through right now shows exactly the spiritual growth, and the reaction to this pain shows the spiritual growth that I've gone through, and my reaction, like, instead of fucking the feelings away, which sounds so gross to me.
It's like, gross.
Like I could have did that yesterday. Ugh.
I fucking love you.
Or like watch a bunch of porn and like jerk off with my tears.
But then you feel horrible. Like it's not satisfying.
And there's no solution there.
None.
There's no solution there. It's all escapism. It's all escapism. So for me, it's going inward.
Well, and you can't escape now because you've let that pattern go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've fully let that go. So like, you understand that like just fucking your feelings away or healing through your fucks, it's just lame as fuck.
And you know what else it is? It's unfair to the women.
God, it's unfair to you.
But it's unfair to me.
But it is unfair to the women.
But something that a big thing that I've learned. Matt, how we doing on time?
45.
Beautiful. We'll wrap it up. One thing I've learned about my toxic masculinity is how abusive it is on a passive level and on an assertive level to women. The idea, like I don't even think women fully grasp this. The idea of being on Tinder and not knowing whether a guy is gonna fuck you and ghost you, like, and never talk to you again, that is so abusive to women. Bro,
it's so abusive. And then you've got bitches like me that used to be like, oh, this is what men are doing?
I'm gonna do it too.
Bet I got this.
And that whole cycle.
It's so fucking toxic.
And then for me, so not even hypothetically, imagine if I brought some girl into my grieving, into this emotional availability, into this literally using her as a fuck tool in order to fuck my feelings away, masturbating with her body.
I love that you said that because most of us, that's exactly what we're doing. Most people. And, right, I think there's this difference between people, most of us are just masturbating each other.
Yeah.
That's really what's going on. And
that happens in long-term relationships.
No, that's what I mean by like, there's no math behind this, but like if I were, my son loves percentages right now. Yeah. So he'd be like, it's like 99% point, whatever. But like probably close to 90% of people because that's all we know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the inner work matters so much. That's why you choosing to say, I'm just going to go inward right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope people do is like, I'm just going to help you go inward because we don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And in guiding people, I have to be just as committed, right? And that's what you do in personal development is like, if I teach and guide people to do this, I better be able to fucking run a marathon doing this shit. Yeah. Right. And like, we have to go inward. We have to.
All the answers.
All the answers are there.
All the answers. Yeah.
Always. So that you can create so that there's a new normal. Again, it's for me, because we are parents, really taking serious, what is the world that I want to create in 50, 60, 80, 200 years?
Yeah.
Matters in how I take every step today.
Definitely.
Especially with my son watching.
Definitely.
Right? And yeah, just especially when we think of masculinity, when we think of love, when we think of self-awareness, both of us having two young Black mixed boys.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the most important thing is going inward. Like I really, really believe that.
Yeah.
Just really believe it.
That's dope. So good conversation. This is exactly, we've been pushing this off.
But it was like the right time.
But it was meant to happen now.
It totally, always.
God's timing. So plug everything.
Oh, plug all the things.
Plug all the things.
Yeah, I work with people one-on-one, but the number one thing that I have right now is really just trying to help as many people as possible, even if they're not able to work with me one-on-one for a variety of different reasons why people can't work with me one-on-one. So if you go to my website, xtinageri.net, XTINAGERI.net. So Geri is my middle name. I'm named after Saint Gerard. He's the saint that watches over pregnant ladies. I know.
He's the saint that watches over pregnant bitches.
That naming story is so funny with my parents.
If you would have said it like that, it would have been hella funny. He be watching pregnant bitches.
Yeah, so just go to xtinageri.net, and I'm releasing this new program that's all for free on quantum healing. So it's 5 techniques on how to basically heal your shit go inward. And it's really not difficult work, right? I think we're scared to go inward, but it's the most sacred place to go.
For someone who struggles with their mental health and has struggled for most of my life, the place I was scared to go, the place that was killing me, telling me to die, telling me all the bad things about myself, is the same place I found all my healing, in my brain.
I'm like, can you please say that again?
Yeah, in my mind. That was the place I was most afraid to go, is where it healed, where it did the healing.
That's everything always is two things, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times in this human world, we want it to be an or.
Yeah.
It's good or bad.
Yeah.
It's fearful or loving, right? Or accepting. And it's that they all always exist.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. In this program, I call it the both end.
The both and. And then they both exist. And then our power is that we get to choose which one we want to give the power to.
Yeah.
Right? Is like, okay, this is fucked up and it's beautiful at the same time, especially with the separation, right? Like the last breakup I went through, fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I've never had so many anxiety attacks in my goddamn life.
Yeah. I'm on the phone with my doctor later.
Bro.
I called my therapist. I was like, I'm in breakdown. I'm gonna get on this phone real quick, talking out for ledge.
Like, it's real.
I'm struggling.
It's real. And like, super fucking painful, but it was also the like most beautiful and liberating thing in my life.
Yeah.
And it's both. It's not an or. And I think we get too scared to talk about the both, and we're too addicted to the pain narrative. So I'm glad we talked more about like healthy masculinity, because we need to be talking about what do we want to create?
Yeah.
Who are we meant to be? And we need to talk more about that and not just get stuck in like the fucking pain. Right?
Definitely.
Be the touchstone.
Yeah. There you go. Bars. So you plugged everything?
Yeah, just go to my website.
Plug your Instagram.
Oh, right. Let's do those things. Instagram is xtina.geri. So xtina.geri. You can find me on Facebook. That is Xtina Geri, or also Xtina Geri. They're both on there. But yeah, website, xtinageri.net, Instagram, xtina.geri. I give a shit ton of free stuff away.
She does.
Yeah, I like it. You could heal your fucking life for free by being on my Instagram. I'm here to like give it away. The universe takes care of me. I'm more than
it's abundance.
There it is.
More than abundant. More than enough. You can follow me at Eric_BigMoodCoach on Instagram, bigmoodcoach.com. Check out the transformational mentorship. We do it, 90 days. We get after it. We make some shifts. So, we're going to wrap it up.
Dope.